So I think this is probably like part 3 or part 4. We'll figure it out once I start posting. But so another job I got fired from. I was a security guard. All right. Now let me explain that before you go jumping into conclusions. So I was working for Richmond Security. All right. It's unarmed security guard. I got the job, and the only thing that I needed to do was get certified. So first, let me explain the job. Security. Why did I get this? Because this was the size of the decoder that they gave me. That I had to go around the building and start clicking on shit. I had the job about 8 months. And you're only supposed to have the job 6 months before you get certified. But when I came in, we had missed the certification period. So we had to wait for the other 6 months to come back around. So that would be like 8 months from me starting the job. So the decoder ring for Ivy was that. And the decoder ring for Ruckersville was like a little bit smaller. I only did Ruckersville one time because I was part of the training for on-site training. The other training was I'd had to go to Lynchburg for 2 days and become certified. And I've kicked myself in the ass for this every day. When I get to the end of the story, you'll know why I kicked myself in the ass. So, I go to work, and we have that big-ass decoder block, and I got the best shift ever. I got midnight shift. Friday night, which would be midnight to 6 a.m. Saturday morning. Saturday night, which would be midnight to 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Sunday night, 11 to 7. So those are the only 3 nights I worked. I had $4.25 an hour, and at that time, back in the 90s, that was like big bucks. All right? It wasn't as big bucks as when I worked at the Learner New York, which was $4.44 an hour, because I was almost there. I only needed like so much more money to get that $5, because at the time, $5 an hour was the thing. Management was making like maybe $5 to $7 an hour, so they're making what most people are making now. But I needed the job. I like security. I know how to fight. So I wasn't worried about being unarmed until I got on the job site. Now, when I got on the job site in Ivy, I was working with some gargantuan motherfuckers. Now, when I worked at one time at Ruckersville, people were normal. Everyone was like 5'7" or 5'11". They were still taller than me, but they weren't big country. When I started my full-timer thingy on Ivy, the smallest person there was a 6-foot woman. Now, we didn't get to see any of the corporate people, but like the people who ran in the factory, people who built the breaker boxes and all that shit, they were big country guys and girls. Big, big. The chick was a fucking Amazon. She was a little bit exhausted, but all the other people were dudes, and she was like the one chick. She was husky. She was big. She could do just as much as those guys, if not more. And there was just like spools of metal. They made breaker boxes. And they had like their own sewage plant. They had some fucking deer running around. They had a firehouse. And I had to guard all that shit. I had a security TV monitor and a TV. Well, the TV monitor really only did like maybe one building. And I never knew if the son bitch recorded me or not. And I didn't really give a shit. Because I wasn't allowed to go to sleep. So I got plenty of sleep before I went to work. So I come to work, get in my uniform, go out. Go to the firehouse. You find a system when you become a security guard. You find a way to make a complete circle that makes it easier for you. So my way was, I'm in the main building. I get all this downstairs because there was no upstairs for the main building. The upstairs was in the main office building, but not in the main warehouse because my office was in the warehouse. So you come out, you make a right, you hit the first decoder, which is on the garage door, wherever the hell the office door is. Then you walk down, you go past all the forklifts, and you hit the other room, click. Then you hit the other room, click. And you hit the other room, click. You hit the exit, and you're out with the main office building's over here, the treatment plant's over there, and something is over there. So I go over to the treatment plant, I hit the thing on the outside, I go in, I hit the thing on the inside. What I didn't know was, if I hit the one on the outside, it automatically registers the one on the inside. Alright? I learned that like about 3 months before I got fired, so I started taking shortcuts. Now, I gotta lie, I started taking shortcuts. So then I go into the main office, the office building. I go in from the front of the building. I click the door. I have to go up the steps because Didn't know they had an elevator until I got to the other side of the building. So I go up the steps. Every room I click, come across, find another set of steps, click, walk past the elevator, didn't even know it was a fucking elevator. Go up them steps, click, come back across, click, go all the way up to the next floor, click, go across, found the goddamn elevator. Click, got in the elevator, rode all the way down. So I started taking the elevator. Go out the back of that building. So then I realized where I fucked up at. So after that, I would go all the way down the street to the firehouse. I wouldn't come back through the factory. I'd go do the thing. And you'd have to do like at least 3 rounds. And so you have to time your rounds. If you start work at midnight, your first round should probably be as soon as you get there. You know, because I always got to work at 11:30 because I didn't get the clock in until like midnight. So I started work at midnight. Mr. Chavez, he left at like 11:45 after he made sure I was in, settled, got my clothes on, got my gear, got my flashlight, got my walkie, and got that fucking decoder, which is pretty much the only thing I had. You know, all the midnight workers will file in, and they'd wave, and I'd look at all these giant, gargantuan motherfuckers, these big, burly, big old white fellas. Didn't see any black people working there, just a bunch of white people. And they walk on through, and I'm like, God, please don't let me have to fight that motherfucker, because I'm going to have to kill him. And then the other guys come in, and they make that guy look small. I say, God, please don't let these motherfuckers try to jump me, because I'm going to have to kill them. Because these are some big-ass white dudes. And I'm like this big. You know, these guys are like Juggernaut, and I'm like Puck. Not even close to Wolverine. I'm like really small compared to them. So they were all nice and decent guys. And they got a good laugh that one night that I ran off the platform because the platform ended and I didn't know that it ended. And nobody said shit until they see me scared head over feet. So, moving on. Got to the day where Mr. Chavez came to me and said, you know, you have to go get certified. I was like, what? They never said nothing about that when I applied for the job. I was like, yeah, well, that's one of them surprises. Surprise. You have to go to Lynchburg for 2 days and get certified. This old fella that was with me, he didn't get certified either. And he had been working there for like a year and he never got certified. Or he got certified and had to re-up. One way or another, he had to go back with me. So we drove to Lynchburg twice instead of getting a hotel and just staying there because I was poor and the company wasn't going to pay for it. So, but they did reimburse me for the gas. And he rode with me. So we go down, we leave because we had to be there by 6. So I'd get up at 4:50, hit the shower, give him a buzz on his house phone, and tell him I'll be over there in like 15 minutes. And he lived on one of the streets behind Cherry Avenue. So I'd pick him up, and then we hit Lynchburg. So we drive all the way down to Lynchburg, and we get to where we needed to go by 6-ish. We were never late, so it was between 6 and 7 we had to be in the damn room. So we got to go in there, and we drove my car because my car was newer, and we go in, and we had to read all this shit, and we had to watch all these fucking videos. And all these videos, they were fucking awesome. They had a dude just like 5'5", he's going around, he's beating everybody up, he's throwing them down, he's doing judo and all this shit. And it's like, okay, you guys are going to get this training, but you're not going to get that training from us. If you want martial art training, you got to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. And so that's 8 hours gone. And we watched nothing but this guy beat people's ass. So we come back on Sunday. Same shit. But we watch it for roughly 4 or 5 hours. Then the instructor who certifies us gives us this written test, which I don't test well at all anyway, but there was no way you could fail this test. No way you could fail this test. But before he gives us his pencils, he said, anybody here from Richmond Security? And me and him raised our hands like we're back in school. And mind you, this guy was like maybe 50, 60 at the time. He's an old guy. He was like super old. So we raised our hands. He said, okay, so you guys watched all our videos for the last 2 days. Everything that you've learned in this video is null and void. And I'm like in my 20s, so I have no idea what the fuck that means. So like, okay, what does that mean? It means you can never use it. I said, but I'm a security guard. He said, yeah. I said, but I already know martial arts. Yeah. So here's how this works. Because you guys work with Richmond Security, there's like a loophole that says that if you guys are on your job and you hurt someone on the job, you will be fired. And I'm thinking to myself, I work with giants. If I put my hands on them, I'm gonna be fired. So I'm supposed to like struggle to reach my walkie-talkie while somebody's choking the dog shit out of me, and I can't use my Mac light flashlight to bash their fucking head in while they're choking me, and all this stuff's playing through my head because I'm working with fucking giants. So I'm thinking it through, and he's like, if you go to a 7-Eleven and get coffee and you're in your uniform, and someone robs a 7-Eleven, you, even though you're not a security guard for 7-Eleven, have to stop them. And I'm looking at it, I was like, okay, you know we only have a flashlight, right? And I brought that up. I was like, hey, dude, you know we're unarmed security, right? You know we only have a flashlight, right? It's like, well, I'm sorry. The policy for your company is that if you are in your uniform, you are wherever you are security. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, when I read that application, it never said none of that shit. So, sadly, I abracadabraed the whole damn thing. I purposely failed that test. So yes, I aren't getting fired. And they fired me 3 weeks early than they were supposed to. Because they weren't supposed to let me go until they could find a replacement because I hadn't been certified. So they had to find a replacement so they couldn't just let me go. But those motherfuckers straight fired my shit. Yeah, they straight fired my shit. So I came in and Mr. Chavez said, okay, this guy passed this test and he's safe. You want to tell me what happened? And he said, because you sat right beside him. Did you like not look at his paper? Did you not cheat? I said, look, man, with all due respect, Mr. Chavez, they told me that if one of these big bastards up in here that comes to work with us every weekend that I work, decides that he wants to snort some coke and wrap his hands around my neck, that I couldn't defend myself. He said, that's correct. And he said, you're supposed to use your walkie to call 911, and you're supposed to run to get back into this office. And I looked at him and I said, okay, let me explain this to you. I can't get back to this office if one of these gigantic motherfuckers have their hands wrapped around my neck. It's like, what, I'm going to be skywalking? It's like, that shit doesn't work in real life. You can't just like float through the air and think you're going to pop back into your office when one of these big burly son bitches decide, hey, I want to choke that half-breed dude because I've got nothing better to do. It's like, yeah, okay, well, here's what's going to happen. Tonight's your last night. Tomorrow when you get off, go home, get your uniforms, bring that shit back, and turn in your patchy badge thing. So, I had like 9 uniforms. I took them all back. I all but one patchy badge thingy because it's like an iron-on, and I lost it. I don't know where it is. I may still have it in my possession somewhere, but I lost it, and they charged me $25 for it. And I could not leave the facility without paying them. So they paid the man my gas money for the goddamn fucking damn patch. So that was that. I got fired. Now, this will be the last I got fired one. Alright, because technically, I didn't so much get fired as I was kind of forced to quit. No, this is not the TJ Maxx story. So, I've been working for Burger King before. So, I got a new job at Burger King. And, I'm a take no shit kind of guy. Alright? So, I got the job at Burger King. And the guy that was training me didn't know that I already worked for Burger King. And I explained to him why he was training me just to shut the manager up. And the manager's name was Don Vaughn. So, my first night on the job by myself, there's nobody there but white people. And don't get me wrong, this does not reflect all white people, just those assholes that were right there that night. So I come into work, my first night, they're having a mustard and bleach fight. And I mean, and they are going to town. And I show up and they're like, you the new night porter? I was like, y'all know I'm the new night porter. Y'all seen me last week working with the old night porter who only works Wednesdays through Saturday, and Sundays and Mondays are mine. Or Mondays and Tuesdays was mine. Yeah, Mondays and Tuesdays was mine. So when wrestling went off, I didn't get to see the end of wrestling because I had to be at work. So wrestling goes off at 11 o'clock. So I have to go to work at 10:30, 10:40 so that I can not be late for work and be written up. So I come to work, and this is back when WCW had 3 hours and Raw only had 2. So I got to work, and these guys and one really obese white lady are squirting mustard and bleach everywhere. And I came in, and the manager was there. I said, "You're going to stop this, right?" He said, "Nope." I said, "So you're just going to let them do that?" He said, "It's your job to clean up." I said, "Well, I tell you what. If y'all don't stop this shit right now, ain't none of y'all going home." And he's like, "And who are you?" I said, I'm the new night porter. Second, and more importantly, I know Kung Fu, and I'm going to fuck all of y'all up if y'all don't clean this shit up right now. Where's your job? Freeze. My job is to clean up behind customers. My job is not to clean up behind employees. I've worked for Burger King before. I am to dump the grease. I am to clean the grill. I am to clean the French fry thing. Then the floors and the bathroom. That's it. I'm not supposed to be cleaning mustard stains off the ceiling and bleach stains off of the tables and all that shit. That is not my job. I've watched that videotape twice. I know what the fuck my job is, and y'all are going to clean that shit up, or somebody's going to call the cops, and the cops are going to call the ambulance, because the cops are going to arrest me. But I'm going to break every fucking one of you in half. And I never seen white people shift gears so quickly. They quickly stopped squirting bleach and mustard and started cleaning that shit up. And I told the boss, I said, they're not leaving until they clean that shit up. I'll do my job, but I'm not cleaning up behind these motherfuckers. And every night that I come to work, which is Mondays and Tuesdays, y'all ain't doing this shit no more. But Wednesday through Sunday, I don't give a fuck what you do. But on my nights, y'all gonna work like y'all got professional skills. Because if you don't, you won't be going home by any way outside of Pegasus to UVA or ambulance to Martha Jefferson. And I cracked my knuckles just like I did. And I said, now what y'all want to do? Y'all want to clean up? Y'all want to go to the hospital? Because I know Kung Fu. I might not catch all of y'all before y'all get out that back door. But I promise you, the people that I do catch, you're going to remember me. And they cleaned up. And so I had the job for almost a year. I got fired on the day before my first day. On a fucking Monday. I only went to work for an hour. It was, what the fuck was it? It was, inventory night. So I go to work. And right from the start, I had a bad vibe. Before I even got in the damn building, I had a bad vibe. And sometimes you gotta go with your instincts. And my instincts was telling me, something ain't right, James. Something ain't right. But instead of listening to my instincts, I decided I'm just gonna go in this building. Now, in between that and getting fired, some people were stealing French fries from Burger King and going home and eating them. They were stealing those Reese's peanut butter cup things and Frosties and everything. So they blamed it on the night porters because we're there overnight. And I personally don't like Frosties because they only came in chocolate at the time. And as far as the Reese's peanut butter cups, we got one with our free meal. So there was no need for me to steal that. Or you can have two and call that the free meal. Not like anybody would ever notice. So, no. We got reprimanded and we were not allowed to go and walk in. We were not allowed to go to walk in under no circumstances whatsoever, or we would be instantly fired. That's what the paper said, and it came in a package with like 3 other pieces of paper. So it's like 4 pieces of paper, and they reprimanded us. They told us what was going on. They told us why we couldn't go to walk in. They told us that under any circumstances whatsoever, even if the manager tells you, you are not allowed to go in that walk-in. You are not allowed to touch that walk-in door. That's how severe this shit was, because somebody was just stalking the fuck up on Burger King food. And they were blaming night porters. So I had explained that to Don, because as a manager, he should have known that, but he didn't give a fuck. So I come into work, and they're at it. I mean, they're going at it with mustard and bleach. And I looked at Don and said, I ain't cleaning that shit up, right? He said, well, you going to clean up tonight? I said, I'm going to tell you one more time. I'm not cleaning that up. So I started doing my job. I cleaned the bathrooms. I cleaned everything except for where they were squirting mustard. I left that shit exactly where I found it. I didn't clean it because they were employees. They shouldn't have been messing up the store. So I'm cleaning up everything else. I get in the back and he goes, you got to go in the walk-in and get the French fry rack out. And I said, dude, I'm not allowed to go in the walk-in. We got a reprimand from the people who run Mountain Valley, and they said I can't go in the walk-in. Well, I'm the boss. I'm going to walk-in. No one's going to know. So I go to walk in. I get the fry rack out because it's empty and I got to clean that shit off because I'm supposed to clean it off. But if it's in the walk-in, I'm not supposed to go and walk in. So he made me go to walk in. I got the French fry fries out. I cleaned all the racks off because we use this high pressure hose, like a power washer, to wash all that grease and shit off. And it goes down the drain. So then I dumped the grease. And then I did something with the French fries. I cleaned that shit out. And then I went over and I cleaned the broiler. That was the last thing I touched before he looked up at that ceiling and he seen this mustard spot. And he said, "You're going to clean that mustard spot." And I said, "No, I'm not going to clean that mustard spot because that's not my job." And then he looked at me with the baddest, redneckest smile. And he said, "You're going to clean that mustard spot." And I said, "No, I am not going to clean that mustard spot." And then he goes, "I'm your fucking boss and you will fucking do what I fucking tell you to do. You're fucking out of here, buddy." And I said, "Well, then I'm fucking out of here, buddy, because I'm not cleaning that fucking mustard spot when I told you when I got the job from day one that I wasn't cleaning up behind them. I'm supposed to clean up behind the customers only because that's what the higher-ups pay me to do. You don't write my check, goodbye." And then I fucked up. I walked out the building without my grandmother's radio. You do not leave something that belongs to a Cherokee behind. It can be really bad for you, especially if you're the ancestor, the descendant of that Cherokee. So I didn't want my great-grandmother Ada to come back from the dead a second time to scare the living dog shit out of me. So I went back. And when I came back in there, this bionic bastard was talking about me like a dog. I mean, he was calling me all kinds of punk bitches. And I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag with a million holes in it, blah, 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 blah. And he was talking. He was talking. And it's probably one of the one times in my life that I said something that I probably regret, but I don't really regret. You know, kind of one of those sorry, not sorry things. And he said, "I bet that boy can't fight his way out of shit. He think he a badass. I bet you he don't know a lick of karate." And I was right behind him when he was saying it. And he turned about as red as this thing right here. After I said what I said to him. And I said to him, "I will beat your lily white ass. Right here, right now. So let's do this." So how'd you get back in there? I said, "The door is not supposed to be locked until 6 a.m., remember? My radio's right there. I came back for it, but we can get a little fisticuff action if that's what you would like. And then I'm going to show you who can't fight his half-breed ass out of a bag full of millions of holes that's wet." Well, I'll call the police. I said, "Knock yourself out." "Well, thank you for cussing and taunting and threatening me in front of all these grown people." And I looked at both of them with a smile on my face and said, "These two grown-ass men, they want me to beat your ass. Hell, they want to beat your ass. The problem is, they got nowhere else to go. They have families that they have to feed. I don't have children. And as far as going to jail goes, I don't have a problem with that either. Because I'm going to enjoy splitting your fucking head wide the fuck open." So, I grabbed my radio and I walked out. But before I walked out, I turned back and looked and I said, "This is what's going to happen. When I come get my last check, you're going to treat me with respect. Or I'm going to snatch your ass over that counter. And I'm going to beat you in front of all the customers. And by the time the cops get there, you're going to wish you never met me. And you keep that in mind, bucko. But if you really want to be a badass, I'll be outside waiting for you. And I got fired so I can be here all night. And you don't get off until 6 a.m. and you'll be tired. But I won't be because I'm angry." So I went and got in the car. And I sat for about 5 minutes and I drove my car out of the Burger King parking lot. He didn't see me leave because I cut through Taco Bell. And I went over to the Hallmark Food Line in Rose's Shopping Center parking lot. So I went over there and I sat there. And no sooner than I got out of my car and slid like on like this now, you know, gangster lean on your car, you up on the front of the car, the cops come. Blue lights blazing. Sirens all over the place. I can't whistle. Anyway, sirens blaring, cops blazing. It's only one cop, county cop, comes over into the Burger King parking lot, and I'm just standing there with a smile on my face because I'm in the Hallmark parking lot, and it ain't shit he can do to me legally. So he comes over there, and he's looking, and he can't find me. He can't identify the car. Then he looks right at me. He said, You threatened somebody at Burger King? And I looked at him because I used to want to be a cop. And I said, yeah, damn right I did. He's like, well, we can arrest you. I said, actually, you can't arrest me. You can't arrest me until I actually act on those threats. He said, how do you know that? I said, because I studied some of the law. I know how the law works. I can threaten anybody I want until I actually carry out that threat. The only thing you can do is threaten me with arrest. And I said, and I got all night for him to come out. How much time did you have? It's like, what? I said, oh, don't worry. He's going to get his ass kicked. It's just a matter of time. He'll be out in like 9 hours or 6 hours because it'll be 6 a.m. and I'll still be here. And when he comes out, if he leaves that building, you best believe his ass is going to get kicked. He wants to cuss me out. I said, I'm going to rearrange his face. It's just that simple. He said, well, if you touch him, you're going to jail. I said, you act like I care. So I waited for about 15 minutes after the cops left. I waited 15 more minutes, and I went the fuck home. I got home between 11:30 and midnight, mad as hell because I got fired. And I went on in the house. My uncle was late for work. I was like, what are you still doing here? Oh, man, I overslept. I was like, okay. And he said, what are you doing here? I got fired. So that's how that conversation went on Castella Street. He overslept, I got fired. So both times I was still living in Castella Street, for Sears and for Burger King. And so he went to work, I went to sleep. So 2 weeks went by and I went and got my check. And Mr. Vaughn gave me the utmost respect that I deserved. But there's another part of the story. It gets better. Trust me, it gets better. So Mr. Vaughn got a new job at Burger King, closer to home, on 5th Street. And so one day, my sister, who will remain nameless for the sake of the video and legal ramifications, 16 years old, she's working at Burger King. Mr. Vaughn, on the other hand, him and this guy that looks like Mr. Bean, who looked like Rowan Atkinson, but he wasn't Rowan Atkinson, he was an Indian with the dots, not the feathers. And my sister's walking, she's working there, and he's walking, and I see these guys, man, and I'm about to get pissed off. And you would be pissed off if you had a younger sister, too, and you got dudes doing this. They're scoping her ass, they're doing this, they're forming a triangle, bang, the diamond cutter, they're doing all this shit, and they're looking at my sister's ass. She's 16. These dudes are my age now. They're in their 40s. Dom might have been pushing 60, but, some people don't age well. So, I come up in the store. And it's not a store, it's just what you call a restaurant when you work there. And for business replications, they refer to them as store reference number such and such. So anyway, I come into the store. And I'm watching this. And he's not noticing that it's me. And I sit there at the top of my lungs and say, that's my sister, right? And when I'm saying that, he's in this position. He's like zooming in on my sister's ass. And it's like boom, boom. If his eyes had binocular vision, that's what his eyes was doing. It's like, and I'm like, okay, I gotta say something about this shit because that's my sister. I got 5 sisters, but that's like my second to the youngest sister. And our birthday numbers are the same, even though the months are different. So we're pretty close. And he's just like zooming in on her ass. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm gonna have to fuck this motherfucker up this time. I'm done playing with this bastard. So when he turned around, he saw me. He turned red again. And I said, let me explain this to you. That's my little sister. And if she comes home one time crying because of something you or Rowan Atkinson here has done to her, I'm gonna come set fire to this building. And I'm gonna wait outside the back door. I'm gonna set fire on the windows, the front door, and both of the drive-thrus, because that's when drive-thrus became 2 windows instead of 1. You can see I'm old as fuck. So he never did anything to her after that. But I told him, I could kill you and burn this building to the ground with your body inside it and disappear into those woods, and nobody would ever know it was me. Because I'm not one to use guns, but I'm willing to make an exception because you're fucking with my sister. So that's the end of that. And after being fired from those jobs, I think I was fired from 2 more jobs, and those will be stories for another day. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfort Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.